to www.comicbook-art.com for commissions and art sales for Arvell Jones, Ron Wilson, Keith Pollard, Herb Trimpe, Robert Pope, Bob Budiansky, and Frank Springer, whose widow will appreciate it.
Well, thank you very much for that, Arvell. But what's a good website to see some of your work here?
You can see my work at www.comicbook-art.com, and that's my agent, and he's got those other people, and also gee whiz, I have an entertainment company. It's called Encode Media Group, and you can see some of the stuff I'm doing on there on encodeonline.com. Yep.
Well, Arvell, it's been a real pleasure speaking to you. I'm glad we got the last interview with here today, and have a great rest of this event. Look forward to your seminars and all of that stuff as well, and have a wonderful rest of your weekend too.
Okay, thanks a lot. To make ready for it, and he goes, okay, are you going to record it? Okay. Stan Lee comes up and comes out in the hallway. They set me up, I think. I walked in to meet with Tony Isabella about the second issue of Iron Fist, and the first issue was a make ready, which is sort of like a proof from the printer. And Stan got to review all of those back in the day. So he comes out of his office and he goes with an angry tone, "Who did this comic book?" I was scared to death. It was my first comic book, and now Stan Lee was coming out and he was yelling. He was yelling, and everybody that was in the hallways, Lynn Wein, Roy Thomas, Tim Shooter, all these guys were walking around. John Verporten, who was a man mountain, all did like this and shrunk back. And I was in the hallway, and I was all the way down at one end of the hall, and Stan was at the other end of the hall, and everybody parted like the Red Sea and pointed at me. And he said, "You did this?" And I went, he said, "Speak up, son. Did you do this?" "Yes, sir." And Stan walked down the hall, and everybody was standing back as he walked towards me. He said, he flipped through a couple of pages. He said, "Did you do this?" I said, "Yeah, I sort of did it as a homage to you and Jack Kirby." He says, "Yes, it does remind me." It was a fight between Iron Fist and Batroc. And I said, "Yeah, I sort of did it in homage to what you and Jack did with Captain America, a whole page full of fighting and no words and everything." And he says, "You know what? The only thing about this is," I said, "What?" He says, "I love it. You get a no prize." So I got my first no prize, and Stan Lee shook my hand. And after that, I felt like, okay, I belong here. Before that, I was like I was sneaking in. I'm like, Stan shook my hand. Everybody's like, yeah, Stan shook my hand. And Lynn Wein said, yeah, everybody shook my hand and patted me on the back and everything. I felt so good that day. But my heart was in my throat, and I felt like, I was going to soil myself when we first walked in. Yeah, it was ugly. I was like, the first time Stan ever really spoke to me. Now, I talked to Jack Kirby a lot of times, but Stan, he just would nod in my direction, and keep going. And that was cool.
That's impressive. I mean, being around those icons as well, it must have been amazing.
I was living the dream, man. It was a fantasy come true. So it was cool.